Hello everybody, this is Starman, and welcome back to Let's Play Betrayal of Krondor. Well, last time, remember, we started out in Caval Keep and headed our way south to Romney and found out that the city is sealed unless you have a seal from a member of the Glaciers Guild, who have pretty much laid siege to the city. And we used the Temple of Banff to teleport to the Temple of Ishap and went through L'Oreal, Hawks Hollow, and now are just south of Zun, and fought a few people. This time we're going to head back through Quester's View, then cut across through Egley and Tanyears back to Krondor, before we head east into Darkmoor, Malak's Cross, Lighton, and we don't need to go back to Sephinan, but go through the route that we're meant to take in Chapter 2 to go from Krondor to Romney. Won't that be fun? Well, yes, actually it will. I'm not being sarcastic. I know it's hard to tell with Uncle Starman sometimes, but anyway, shouldn't be anything here unless there was an ambush I snuck through before, which there should not be. Oh, there was one thing I was going to check while we were in this area, however. And I think it's actually after the next rise. Yeah. You might recall that we had read something about there being some word chests in the area that gave answers to a riddle we didn't have. Well, that's because when I was making my thorough exploration of everything in Chapter 1, I did skip this little pathway because I thought it just led around to the house there, and well, actually I was mistaken. This is why I was mistaken, because yeah, there is a pathway, but there are also some chests back behind this mountain. And yeah, simple adventuring supply shop. And I was debating if I wanted to give myself a nice even number of weed walkers, but get that down to one even vial. And while I'm thinking of it, it has been a while since I've done armor maintenance. And yeah, he will not take that. And just as well. I wonder if I'll take a tuning fork. Yeah, it does not have a used, very slightly used tuning fork. More is the pity. So anyway, we have these chests back here, which we had not... And there is a trap. Now, the funny thing about this trap is that this one is a dirt simple trap. Really, the only purpose of this trap is showing you that you can use the electric fields to block cannons, which is a very helpful lesson early on. Not so helpful now, but there we go. A precious gift this, yet it has no end or beginning, and in the middle nothing. Well, you're a Lord of the Rings fan, you might probably know this one. Although that gives us nothing but some shells and some coin. Very vital that the Mordhell be ferrying this around, let me tell you. Though easy to spot when allowed to plume, it is hard to see when held in a room. That would be smoke. More shells and a rather pitiful kingdom sword. And finally, Be you ever so quick with vision keen, by your eyes we are never seen, unless perchance it should come to pass you see our reflection in a looking glass. Well, that would be, what can't you see with your eyes? Your own eyes. That gives us more lockpicks, a torch, and a crossbow. So yeah, not the greatest treasure, but we are completists, or at least I am. And we've got Quester's view up here, which... And we already did the barding thing here, I think, but... Something I recall is that there's a fellow who we were supposed to try and talk to. The man didn't look happy. "You don't talk much," called a voice from the other side of the tavern. "He's a pretty somber fellow. Folks call him Grim because he never laughs or smiles." Another voice said, "He's pretty much a fixture here at Babbin's. In fact, we have a little fun with strangers. We'll give you heavy sovereigns so you can give Grim here to laugh. Care to give it a try?" James nodded. "Indeed we would." "Give it a try," he said. Then he turned and whispered, "Let's see, how are we going to get this fellow to laugh? Spoon, body, ship. We're going to make him laugh by spooning with him? That seems unnecessarily cruel and disturbing." "I've got it," said Owen. "It's little trickies to amuse my father with." He squatted down in front of Grim, tipped back his head, and began to sing. As the words of his silly song tumbled from his mouth, he carefully balanced the spoon across the bridge of his nose. Grim frowned. "I'll try," said Goref. He turned to Grim and with a sly smile began a bawdy tale that detailed a romantic tryst between a dwarf and an elf maiden. Glancing around the room with a mischievous smile, Goref reached the punchline. "It isn't going to work," said the dwarf. "What with me down here and you up there?" The end of the story brought stifled snorts and snickers from around the room, but Grim simply nodded. "Ship." James stepped forward. This little tale should knock him off his chair. It was written to me by a Surani scholar. Seems one of our sailing ships was caught in a fierce storm that damaged the vessel so badly it began to take on water. There were rafts on board, and most of the men got off safely, but it quickly became apparent to the captain that there were only 3 spots left, and 4 of them still on the ship. "I'm going to ask each of you a question," he said. "Answer correctly and you can join your mates on the raft." Turning to the first man, he said, "The firestorm sank off what peninsula?" "The Hon Shoy Peninsula, sir." The captain nodded and pushed the sailor toward the raft. Then he turned to the second man. "How many were on board that night?" Deep in thought, the second sailor said, 154. Again, the captain nodded, pushing the sailor toward the raft. Finally, with one eye on the rising water, he turned to the third man. "What were their names?" The joke over, James looked at Grim expectantly as loud guffaws filled the room, and the men doubled over and slapped their knees and lost air through their noses. Grim yawned. "The man's a rock. I'm afraid we just can't do it." "Well, actually, we can do it. We just need to go find the proper motivation." And the proper motivation is a surprisingly quick, well, relatively speaking, trip back up the coast. The now completely free of bandits coast. And stop so short. So yes, we're going to have to head back to Lamut for this one. The dwarf frowned at them. Apparently resolute not to move from his stool for some time, he puffed heartily on his pipe. "If you'd be ever so kind, I'd prefer if you just left me unpestered. A dwarf's pipe is a religious matter, and a temp in his temple. Perhaps we can jabber a bit later." And yeah, we did Bard. "However the blue wheel may be at your service, please do not hesitate to tell Sumani." Well, you're supposed to be able to come to Sumani and ask him about a joke. Although it may be, given that I didn't learn this until after we'd already talked to Dubal, we might not be able to do this until Chapter 3. But you're supposed to be able to come here and learn a joke that will make Grim laugh. And I think we will finally go ahead, and they don't have use for an elven rapier. Bloody typical. Well, I was trying to free up some inventory. Now, there is a reason why I am buying this cheap-ass Kingdom armor. And it will become apparent soon enough. And we do in fact have, well, almost enough. I will explain the method to my madness later. We're going to camp on the road first because we do not want to walk around while it's dark at Lamut. Still got that martial law thing going on. Right, so back to Questor's View. Now this place. Let's see, just need to find room for one more set. Now, well, he will take. Well, we might need that anti-venom, so, aha. Okay, so that gives us 6 suits of Kingdom armor. Now you're probably wondering, why am I going through so much trouble to get 6 suits of Kingdom armor? Well, we're going to need them very shortly. And I want to be prepared so I don't have to go digging around looking for it then. So easier, just get it ready now. North to the Dimwood. Yes, this one always gives me trouble, but we can't go between the mountains there somehow. Well, more like hills, but... I just want to check the Temple of Sylvan, see if there's anything here, and... Wow! 5 more at hell. Haven't had that many ambushes in quite some time. Whoop. Yep, just keep ignoring the spellcaster. That's fine. And now that I've actually got all my comrades protected... showier than I usually like, but it seemed effective this time around. And let's see, what spells have I not used in a while? Oh, that one finally wised up to my trick. Let's see if he tries it. Yep, he tried it. Oh, and there's the final rest spell, which we have yet to find occasion to use since I got it. Oh, it just occurred to me, I've never actually used the assessment skill. Owen studied his opponent. While it was possible he could be grossly misjudging some of the more Hell Warrior's ability, he was absolutely convinced about certain facts. So his health is 40, stamina 21, speed is 5, strength is 15. Just about as wimpy as Owen. Actually, my melee and defense are way better. Well, you know, had I known we were going to run into these guys, I wouldn't have bought all that armor, but you know what? Still worth it. Let's see how they're doing with the temple here. They waited. After an uncomfortably long wait, the High Priestess's plump assistant emerged in the courtyard, her face high with color. The High Priestess sends her regards that she cannot come at the moment. She's otherwise occupied. She sends her thanks and her gratitude for having helped us in the past, and asks that you forgive her this discourtesy. Goddess's blessing on you, gentlemen. Alright. Well, nothing there, but still worth it for that little bit of combat experience. And there's the Franklin's house, which means we are just about a stone's throw from Egley. And we'll see if there's more friendly people here now that word of what happened in the town has gotten out. Nobody there. Abandoned house. $157 gold, not bad. Well, let's... Devon spat. Evidently less than pleased with the hand of solitaire poker he dealt himself, he glanced up at his newfound patrons that were milling in the door. Seeing James, gave a half-hearted grin. I'm not sure if I like this town any better now that the people are coming back. Now it's all I can do to find a minute to think. Price guess you pay for your dreams. What can I get you? Well, we can ask about mercenaries. One of the brothers from the Abbey of Stock has seen several mercenaries on the move throughout the Principality, and he said they're Quegian. With a good Quegian name like Devonius, I was guessing you might know something about them. I haven't anything to do with the Dauphiness of Queeg or a bastard father-in-law for over 3 years now. I burned my writs of passage the day Spitzer and I boarded the Dauphine's war galley, the Storm Master, and sunk King Libius' flagship of all hands on board. Since that day, I've only worked for me. Me. Then you have no idea why there'd be so many mercenaries wandering free in the kingdom? You don't get more than 3 Quegian mercenaries together in one spot that you're paying them to be together. Small island like that, most of them have killed a member of some of our mercenaries' family. Pay them well, and they'll put their personal vendettas aside long enough to do what's asked of them before they start on each other. Whoever is funding them must have an incredible fortune in rubies somewhere. Rubies? Isle sovereigns won't buy you a thing in Queeg except a month underground King's Libius' pain pin. Rubies, that's all they'll take. Yeah, ask about Spitzer. You mentioned someone named Spitzer who boarded the Storm's Master with you. Was he a friend of yours? Is he still around? You know, to be passing through, you ask a lot of questions. Just curious, I was wondering if he might know anything about the Quegians. He's got more reason to be afraid of King Libis than I do. He'll avoid Quegians like the plague. Now, if you want to play dice with him, I'm sure he'll be happy to talk plenty. He was in 10 years, last I heard. Well, heck, might as well innkeep here. 1 sovereign for the night. You know what, for that, right, we'll heal up. The Night Master was waiting. There's a message for you, said, seeing James. Reaching beneath the counter, he produced 1 sovereign. Sovereign. 1 sovereign, sovereign. 2 sovereign, sovereign. One of the guests who was here last night told me to give these to you and say they're a gift from Delicon. James throws his hand clasped over the coins. Anything else? No, that was it, the man said cheerfully. Just give him these coins. Tell him it was from Delicon. Yeah, we're leaving. I don't think you ever actually get anything where you're attacked in your bed, but let's not chance being the first, eh? And yeah, ambush. Oh, 2 more at hell in a Quegian. Yeah, I'll summon the undead to fight for me. Why not? You want something done right, let the magician swing at him. Okay, no room for the Surani Corals. Oh man, a dose of Serig's Bane. That would be nice, but... Okay, yeah, 31 gold, not too much. A shifty-eyed man motioned them over. Boys, he said, Snake Eye Spitzer's name. You feeling lucky tonight? You're looking lucky. How about a game of dice? Well, we got 5 gold back, which is usually better when you deal with this, but, and no interesting conversation here. Okay, well, I think we have just enough time that I can show you why we wanted to get those suits of armor. And from here, we're going to head eastward to Sephinon. Well, past Sephinon, really. Yep, east to Sephinon. We're going to pass through this little township right here and make our way more directly toward Lighton. Well, eventually. Looks like we are going to have a combat here. Or we might not. I might be able to sneak through this one. In fact, just to make sure that we can get through this in a timely manner, I summon the dragon's breath. Alamafrak ufaspeta. Somebody here has seen Excalibur and gets the joke, right? And well, I did this a far bit too soon, but James spotted a man in a field. Bent over, he appeared to be a farmer of some stripe, though his work seemed to be more industrious as they drew closer to him. Undoubtedly, he had seen them as well. Quite a nice little stead you have here. I suppose so, if you like busting sod. I have a mind to sell a few times. Events here recently, I'm liking things less and less. I might just sell everything out, like I've been telling everybody. Of course, I wouldn't expect a kept boy like you to understand. Probably wouldn't, but this seems like such a nice lot to give up. Why would you want to? Everybody knows that something evil happened at the Battle of Sephinon, definitely a natural. Me, myself, I used to live in the center of town before King Liam offered up money that I should leave. I didn't think much of leaving, but I thought the evil would stay there. And it hasn't? It's creeping down the road from Sephinon? Listen, boy, I don't care much for your attitude. You may be educated, but it won't mean you won't know nothing about the world. If you're wise, you'll stay away from Sephinon and take anybody else that'll go with you. There's somebody evil hereabouts, and I want to be about when at last it gets here. So how much do you want for your land? What? If this evil is so imminent, you're anxious to be away from it, I'd be interested in buying this little lot of yours. I'm not afraid of ghosts. What would you sell it to me for? Well, I haven't actually decided to make the move as of yet. I don't want to get to be the cart before the horse, you know. I'd like to be a while before I sell, see? Don't want to rush it. Do you know anything about the land that adjoins yours by chance? Is it for sale? No, not anymore. I bought it when that old widow Patruma moved out. Bought it? I said you thought you wished to move. I do. Listen, I don't have time to stand about talking all day. If you're interested in the land, go ahead and look around. Just stay clear of my stead. Now I've got things to do. Good day. Good day to you, sir. That is not the least bit suspicious at all. And wasn't that Max Feeber the name of the guy that Nivek, the tax collector, said was acting suspicious? Well, at any rate, we're close to Lighton proper now, I think. Yep. A well-armed man approached them. You shall not pass this way unless you pay a road tax, shouted one of the men. James put a hand on his sword. Under whose authority do you make these demands? He shouted back. Lord Lighton. Now, I return back or pay us a tax of 25 gold sovereigns. What will it be? Yeah, let's leave. James stared at the tax collectors. Turn to Garth, he said quietly. A battle against these men would be foolish. We should turn back and find another way around this mess. Yeah, if you're trying to walk on the main road into Lighton, you will have problems. Thankfully, there are ways apart from the main road. Sneak, 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 sneak. I think this will be the home of Lord Lighton himself. A servant met them at the door. She ushered them inside and led them to a Parisian corner of the room. Pulling back the curtain, she revealed a gangly man with a white beard and snow-gray hair, who introduced himself as Lord Lighton. Please forgive my humble accommodations, he sighed. My financial situation has been compromised by the death of my lord, Earl Presser of Romney. Wait, the Earl of Romney is dead? I thought he was keeping the peace. Suddenly he brightened. Perhaps you would find gentlemen be able to assist me in a small matter. What could we do to help you? The Lord sighed. I was to equip 6 knights and send them to Romney from my former lord, but his holdings were bestowed on my half-brother following his death, and he now wishes me to deliver 12 fully equipped knights to Mal's Cross. If you will bring me 6 suits of kingdom armor in good condition, I'll be able to get rid of those annoying tax collectors who have been traveling the roads terrorizing people and extorting money. I wouldn't actually expect you to have that sort of thing, would you? You don't, do you? As a matter of fact, by sheer coincidence... James nodded in reply. Before he could say more, Lord Light was on his feet. "Wonderful!" exclaimed Lord with a huge smile. "I don't know how you did it, but all I can say is thank you." "Glad we could help," said James nobly. The Lord began to rummage through his belongings in a cedar chest in the corner of the house. "Let me see what I do have that can offer as a reward. That won't be necessary." "Nonsense! I want to help out. Ah, here you go. These things aren't much use to me, but you might find them useful." He produced a virtue key and a parchment note on a table. They think the man took the items from the table and placed them in their packs. So, the parchment note... Of the fairy chests we have cataloged so far, Lord Light, we have found the following words can be used to open chests in your region. River, sword, ice. It is our sincerest hope that in the future we will be able to decode others and send them. As we find them, I shall send word to you by post if I discover anything of interest. Brother Jeremy the Scribe. That guy again. But we do have a mostly clear inventory now. Decidedly clear. And we no longer have to worry about sneaking through town as we pass through here. Because we are going to have to pass through here a fair bit now that we are in the area, well, roughly give or take where we're meant to be in Chapter 2. But we'll go ahead and start looking around Lighton again and head back to investigate Max Feeber next time. We'll see you then.